What's up, guys? It's your girl, Small Time Hero. Let's talk Percy Jackson Season 2, Episode 5. We check into CC's Resort and Spa. CC's Spa and Resort, excuse me. Okay, so first of all, I just want to say that this area right now that we're in is one of my favorite, parts of the book. When we find out their fatal flaws and how all demigods have a fatal flaw, and when we see them actually kind of deal with them, this is like my favorite part of the book. And when I was like anticipating what season 2 was gonna be, this was like one of those things that I was just like, yeah, this is something that I really want to see. Like I'm really excited to see it. So to watch this episode, and first of all, I want to say that it's a lot different than the book, but that's okay because I've bought fully into it because it was amazing. They took like one of my favorite parts of the book and made it even better. So I truly can't say anything bad about this. Um, so let's just jump into the episode. We're gonna cover the whole episode and then I'm gonna talk about what I really love. So let's get into it. So Annabeth and Percy are basically blown up because of Clarice's decision to not basically sacrifice her. And so we see the aftermath of that and Percy trying to basically steer the ship in the water. But from what I'm remembering, for sure, is that it was weird. The sea of monsters was weird and the water there was weird. And I don't think he had control over it in the book. So we don't necessarily know exactly what happened. I think we'll find out a little bit later. But definitely a cool scene. Episode 4 was really good. I know I don't have a review for episode 3 and 4, but we definitely have a review for episode 5, so let's move on. Okay, so um after Percy and Annabeth both wake up in a steam room situation, which I think is cool. That it's just more modern connotations of what's in the book, which I thought is cool because the book is, for the time, it was a very modern take on what it would be, but you get even more modern with this show, and I love that portion of it. So the guys, they wake up in the steam room, and Percy's his first thought is to get up and explore, I guess. And Annabelle stops him, and she's like, "Hold on, I haven't had a second to actually look into this and see what's going on." So they decide to wait, and that's when so when the guys wake up, they actually once Percy decides that he's gonna touch the door and Annabelle stops him, they meet Hilla. And first of all, one thing that is very stressed is that everybody on this island is a demigod. They're all on a quest and they're all trying to still make it to their quest, although they are working um they're working at this resort. I don't know, the mental gymnastics you have to do in order for this to make sense is crazy, but I get it. I understand what's happening because it's kind of like the Lotus casino situation again, but also of course Cersei's magic is at play. So I think it's really cool, but I also thought it was funny. But yes, so the guys, they meet Hilla, and basically she's like, okay, so you guys aren't ready yet, because Percy he pulls out Riptide hey bro, what's up? Like, come on in here and get cut up, my nigga. So after Percy and Annabeth finally come out of the steam room and they talk to Hilla, they actually have a conversation with her, and she's offering them different things, and that's when we get introduced to Stavros. Stavros is also on a quest. Stavros has decided that he is about to get up off this island. He has had enough. And you know what? Honestly, Stavros, I understand. Because there's some weird, freaky shit going on this fucking island, and nobody's explaining it. So I get it, Stavros. So we see Stavros basically don his Greek armor, and he's basically finna get up out of here. And so he decides that, he marches down, and this is actually where we get to see the sirens at play. Stavros is on a stand-up jet ski. I don't know if y'all know exactly what it is, then tell me what it is, but I don't really know what it is actually. I don't know. The best way I can explain it is a stand-up jet ski. It looks like one of those things that you bounce on, but I'm not really sure. So yeah, Stavros takes that, and he basically I'm getting the fuck up out of here. So the way Cersei's island is set up is where it's kind of like a gulch where you have to get through the sirens. And I don't know if it was on both sides, but it was definitely on one side where the sirens are. and like you can sail straight through. Like it's an open passage. You can literally sail straight through, but but there's these sirens. And so we see Stravos. I don't know. I think I said it correctly earlier. But we see Stravos trying to basically get off the island, and he is. Oh, Cersei also mentions that Stravos' fatal flaw is what keeps him from being able to get off the island, which is something that comes to play a few times in this episode. So basically, Stravos decides that he's gonna go through, and he almost gets through the gulch, but the siren song is just too much for him. And like one of the things that is expressed effort like a lot in this episode is that the siren song is like a part of, like, you cannot resist it. If you hear it, you can't resist it. So make sure you keep that in mind. All right. So he is, they don't really show what happens. It's a lot of sounds and a lot of like slashes, but like in my mind, the sirens ate him. Like that's what happened in my mind. In my mind, the sirens ate him. So like, yeah, basically, that's what I'm thinking. But yeah, so there's no more Stravos, and that's basically the theme of this episode. Like, what fuels you, and what makes you you can also be used against you. And for demigods, your fatal flaw is a big part of who you are, but also a big part of how you'll be held back, or what could possibly hold you back. So back at Cersei's spa and resort, we actually see Percy and Annabeth in full Greek garb, and they look so cute. They're so cute. Oh my god, I loved it. They look so cute. The makeup, everything. Percy's part, oh my god, Percy's part in his head is so cute. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. 10s for the costume. I don't know if we can get like a costume award or something, but they did their thing on these costumes this season. So congratulations to the Percy Jackson team. Y'all really, really nailed it on the costuming and set dressing this season. Furthermore, okay, so we find out basically Annabeth deduces that they're talking to Cersei. Like she looks around and she's looking at the animals and she's like, kind of think I figured out who exactly you are. So Annabeth basically is like, oh, you're Cersei. And she's like, yeah, I am Cersei. I'm not a demigod. I'm not a god. I'm just Cersei, a person that's being punished by being on this island. And Annabeth is like, okay, so we need to get the fuck on. And I think that's like a real big part of that. But of course, Cersei says that she no longer does that kind of thing of turning people into pigs, which I feel like she meant like actual pigs and not like not turning people into animals. But we're gonna move forward. She also says that she can help them, and basically she wants to show Percy or help Percy work through his fatal flaw. So of course Percy is like, fuck it, let's go. Like, I don't have time for this shit. Let's just get through it. So he looks into the mirror, which I thought was cool because it's kind of giving Harry Potter, Mirror of Erised. But yeah, so Percy looks into the mirror, and basically you see all the times he sacrificed himself, or the times where he would have put his friends before himself, or the times where he rescued people, or just being a true hero, being a true friend. And basically that's a big deal when you're a demigod, because it's worse than hubris. It's like you would maybe make the wrong decision because you want to save a friend. And right now we kind of going through that with Luke being like a friend, or somebody who Percy once thought was a friend because of season 1, and basically being betrayed. So I think that's like a huge deal when you're dealing with demigods. Somebody who would burn down the world for their friend is dangerous in a sense, especially if they aren't on the wrong side. Like, there's this argument that if Hermione wasn't like on the right side of what was going on with Harry Potter, that she could have ended up just as bad as Voldemort, which makes sense. Like, it's one of those things with Percy. We see him time after time like trade places with Annabeth, like both times in his Festus chair, and at the top of the arch. Like, we see him do this multiple times. So it's very, very like true that he would. And basically, he walks out of the room and he busts the water pitcher, which I think is cool because now we're starting to see Percy, like, not necessarily learn his powers, but see, what his powers can do a little bit. Like, in the book, there's more instances, but I think, like, right now, we're talking about something that you got to actually physically show. So you're not going to get, like, all those instances, but the times that we do, I think it's cool. So we see the little whirlpool, like combust, basically. And Percy walks out because he's like, no, it's true. I know it's true. And honestly, I feel him. Like, he tells Annabeth, he was just like, if it's you, if it's anybody, I would burn the world down before I sacrifice you or Tyson or my mom or anybody like that. And yeah, that's who I am. And I have no issue with that. Maybe I'm more human than demigod. And I felt like that was like a big part of him saying, hey, I don't know, maybe I am the child of the prophecy. And Annabeth is like, hey, we got like 3 years to figure out who the child of the prophecy is. And he's just like, nah, bro, maybe it's me. So we come into Grover sewing his wedding dress, and also I guess he was working on his trap or his way out, as we find out that he actually has one. And Clarice sees Grover and she automatically goes into Aries kid mode. She's trying to find a weapon. She's like, look, I'm not gonna be empty handed when this fool get here. I will not be. So Grover's like, hey, listen, I needed you. But she's like, hey, look, Percy, Annabeth, everybody's dead. Grover then says, hey, no, I don't think Percy's dead because we have an empathy link. And if he had died, I would know because of the empathy link. I did mention that in, I think, episode 1, because I was talking about like what happens with an empathy link. Because I think like if you die while connected to somebody with an empathy link, I think they die also. So yeah, so that was, Grover was like, no, they're not dead. But also I have this plan that wouldn't have worked until you got here. So I'm really glad that you actually got here. And so, like, he tied, Polyphemus brought Clarice in tied up in rope, and Grover was like, oh, I needed this rope and everything. So he's basically going to tell Clarice how they're going to get out. And then we go back to Cece's resort, and we go back to Cece's spa and resort. So during this conversation with Cersei, we also get another rearing of sassy ass Percy, where he tells her basically her story that Sally has told him. And basically, he's like, hey, it would be really devastating for you to help people, give all that empathy that you call your fatal flaw, and give that help and help these people and literally get nothing back from these people. Like, that's a big deal, and you shouldn't be treated like that, and the god shouldn't have treated you like that. And I think that's like one of Percy's like big parts of him. Like, he does understand, like, even more so as the series goes on and on, how unfair the gods can actually be. So we do actually flash back to what's going on with Grover, Clarice, and Polyphemus. So basically, Grover is able to not even a makeshift. He unravels the rope that Polyphemus put Clarice in, and basically, makes a rope. And he has one of his vine friends, I should say. He has one of his vine friends hold on to the rope so that Clarice can climb up the rope, and he uses his reed pipes to strengthen the vines, which I thought was cool. Which I told you guys, hey, watch out for those reed pipes because they're gonna come back to play. Especially, I didn't actually know how much they were going to, use the reed pipes this season, but I'm very happy that like we're already establishing what they do, how they work, and what it can possibly do. So I love that. So basically, Clarice is too heavy, or either taking too long, and she falls. And did she knock herself out? I think she knocks herself out, and Polyphemus comes back, and Grover basically is like, oh, she tried to escape, caught her, but he has his veil off. And the whole time I'm screaming like, oh my God, your veil, Grover, your veil. So if you guys don't know, I do a fleece watch over on my YouTube channel where you're watching this episode right here. I do a fleece watch. So I'm watching like what's going on as the episode premieres. So if you want to watch with me, you want to see my live reactions, come on over. It's every Wednesday at 12 p.m. because the episodes come out at like 12 a.m. So I wait till like 12 p.m. to watch. So come on, guys, come over and watch with me. But yeah, so I'm like screaming at the TV like, your veil, Grover, your veil. So like Polyphemus basically busts him out and like, hey bro, I'm not slow. Like I may not be able to see, but I can smell and I can hear. Like he legit was just like on some real shit. Like, bro, y'all trying to treat me like I'm fucking an idiot, but like I can smell you. You smell like goat, bro. Am I smelling it? He basically said I'm Daredevil, ho. That is fucking hilarious. It's just hilarious. Back at Cece's spa and resort, we actually see Percy get ready to go have a conversation with Cersei. And one of the things before we left him, he said that the quest was never truly his. And I think that that's something that like also is a part of the theme of this episode, is that fate isn't good or bad. Sometimes the situations can be devastating, but sometimes you're right where you need to be right on time. And I think that's like a big part of that kind of like idea where he's just like, yeah, I don't know if I was supposed to be on this quest, but basically Percy gets it in his mind that he's gonna go talk to Cece and basically figure out if he can get Cece to get like basically grant Annabeth favor so that she can go and get off the shit, like get through the sirens like she did for Odysseus, because Percy basically figures out that she had been helping like a few heroes leave because it kept hope alive. Basically, like if one person left, or like every 50 years one person leaves after maybe going through some kind of therapy or something like that, she basically cheats for them, Percy says, and like helps them get through. And there's different ways to get through, like Percy mentions tying yourself to the mast to get through the sirens so you can't move. So yeah, so basically Percy goes to talk to her, and when I was watching it live, I was just like, you cannot trust this bitch. You cannot trust this bitch. She's not gonna keep her word. She is not going to keep her fucking word. So Clarice basically finds out that Polyphemus can mimic other people because she thinks she's talking to Grover until Polyphemus makes the mistake of saying that Ares is a merciful guy, which he is definitely not. And so like that tips off Clarice, and Clarice finds out that basically Polyphemus can hear and shit. And he goes through all of that, and he's like, oh, I played the poor beast for you so you can come into my trap and blah blah blah. But like, I'm gonna say this honestly, Polyphemus set up a very sophisticated fucking trap. Like, truthfully, it's a very sophisticated trap, man. Like, very. Because one of the things that, like, we keep hearing is that Cyclopses are dumb. Cyclopses are dumb. Cyclopses are dumb. But Polyphemus is showing us, basically, that don't believe everything you fucking hear. So, after Cersei basically turns Percy into a guinea pig, I thought it was really, really interesting that like all of the animals just looked down, like, because like they knew what was going to happen, and I thought that was like really, really interesting. But basically all of the animals looked down and they're like, oh shit, she finna turn this nigga into a hamster. He don't even know what he doing. He making a deal that's not gonna actually come true. So basically she blows like a powdery mist, which was really pretty. It reminded me of this Fenty powder I had that was like diamond dust, I think. Diamond dust. Anyway, so she blows this powder on Percy, and he turns into a guinea pig, and she basically puts Percy into the guinea pig enclosure. And I thought it was so cute that they gave the guinea pigs dialogue, but in the book, of course, they actually have dialogue, so they had to. And the first thing that the guinea pig says, "Welcome aboard, lad." I thought that was so funny, but like almost instantly after Percy is turned into a guinea pig, we get like Annabeth at the door, like, hey. After Annabeth comes to the door, she starts talking to Cersei, and basically she's showing Cersei like blueprints and different ideas that she's having of getting off the ship. which, I mean, getting off the island, which I felt like was kind of weird. Like, why are you telling this lady how you gonna get off the island? But basically, she questions where Percy is, and then she kind of puts together that Percy's been turned into a guinea pig, which she's like, oh hell no. Like, she's already like, I'm not losing Percy. Fuck you, bitch. So she remembers that Hermes gave them those vitamins, and so she basically takes Cersei's empathy and uses it against her, and basically like makes Cersei like listen to her and basically have feelings about what's going on with Annabeth. And as Annabeth is drawing Cersei in and drawing Cersei in, she's basically setting a trap, and then she throws the pills, well, she throws the vitamins, excuse me, and Percy actually get the vitamins, and like it is a huge explosion of animals turning into humans, and Cersei is like, what the heck is going on? Like, she truly was caught off guard by Annabeth, which I felt like was a big show of what Annabeth's fatal flaw is, which is hubris, pride, she says, but also like, great thinking on Annabeth, right? So as the guinea pigs get turned back into people, we find out that one of the guinea pigs is actually Blackbeard. And apparently Blackbeard and his crew had sailed onto Cece's spa by accident, of course, through the Sea of Monsters. And so they're running around creating havoc. And this actually happened in the book. And like, it's one of my favorite scenes like from the book. So I was really, really excited to actually see it happen. I was like squealing. Oh my God. Okay, so now we are coming up into like the last 15 minutes of the episode. And honestly, this is one of like the most, like, I was literally screaming like, oh my fucking God. Like, it was really good. It was so good. It was so good. It was so good. Okay. So basically, Annabeth, after, after Annabeth throws the vitamins and everybody turns back into an animal, Cersei took the fuck off. She got the fuck on. She's a runner. She's a track star, baby. She got the hell on, and like the pirates started wreaking fucking havoc. So Percy and Annabeth take that time to go find a sailboat. In the book, it's a little bit more detailed, but basically Percy finds a sailboat that he can sail, and they decide. Oh, and Annabeth takes the beeswax so that she can plug her ears. They decide that they are going to sail past the sirens. So you see them, and Cersei is actually watching them sail, and Percy decides that he is going to take the mask, and that Annabeth should do the beeswax. This is one of those moments where it's like, yeah, Cersei was able to she used her magic to snatch the beeswax back after Annabeth gets Percy tied to the mast. Basically, she was like, I'm finna kill this bitch. But anyway, so she has basically caused the beeswax back. So Annabeth has nothing to keep her from hearing the siren song. And for a child of Athena, pride is a big deal. So it's probably best that she should have been tied to the mast. And one thing that I think from the book is that they both tie themselves to the mast. And like Annabeth in the book is like, I want to hear it, but if I get too close, pull me back. That's actually what action happened. But like in the book, they actually talked about it. So basically, Annabeth goes towards the fucking sirens. They don't even actually show her get like over there, like, cause she's kind of dry. So when she gets to the sirens, she's like talking to the sirens, and like she's like, what you see is Luke, Percy, and Grover talking, and like it's wrong because it's like a old Luke and a like right now Percy, and like they're all having conversations or whatever, and basically Annabeth walks up on them and like they ask her what does she think, and she stabs Percy, and then I think she stabs Luke, but she does not actually stab the third, like she doesn't stab Grover, and the Grover siren like leaps, like, well, not leaps, but tries to grab her, and like all you see is a flash of light, and fucking Athena like blast through the goddamn siren, and like she's like, what the fuck are you doing? And like at that moment I lost my motherfucking mind. I was like, oh my God, it's Athena. It's And like, and it was so crazy because it literally got me. And then you find out that it's not actually Athena. That's because Athena says that she's proud of Annabeth and she's always watching. And then we see the siren actually grab fucking Annabeth. And like we realize, oh no, that's not Athena. This is actually the fucking sirens. Oh my good God. And so like it's like a really what the fuck moment. Like you're like, oh my God, what just happened? What did I just watch? And then Percy is actually able to grab Annabeth because he was able to free himself from the mask. And so he grabs Annabeth and he uses his powers to pull himself back to the ship. And that's how he saves her, and they sail past the sirens. And honestly, she keeps it real. She was just like, I saw what I wanted to see. And she asked him, like, what did you see? And he was just like, all I saw was you. And I'm just like, come on, man. Percy Biff, man. Come on, man. He was like, all I saw was you. And I had to save you. And I was like, that was a crazy fucking episode. That was so good. And this is one of my favorite scenes in the book. So I'm just really excited that it came together even better on screen. Bravo. 10s across the board. So Percy and Annabeth basically are able to sail past the sirens thanks to Percy. And he really did step in to save her. And I want to say like episode 5 of last season was when he switched out sitting in his Festus chair and turning to gold. Like, so he truly does put his butt on the line for Annabeth. I think that he truly does care for her. Annabeth, Percival forever. But yeah. So basically we see them make it to Polyphemus Island, but we also know what's waiting for them there. We got Polyphemus who can, change his voice and shit. We also know that Luke is on his way for the Golden Fleece. So it's a lot finna happen in episode 6. So I really want you guys to come and fleece watch with me for episode 6. Wednesday at 12 p.m. I will be watching live. You can come over into the live, talk to me. We can talk about Percy Jackson. And then the new review for episode 6 will be up on Friday. Don't know what time Friday, but definitely Friday. So make sure you subscribe, you like, and you hit that notification bell so you know when I put out videos. All right, guys.